What is up, everybody? We are live outside the cage, coming off UFC 290 International Fight Week. Just a phenomenal weekend. Words can't express what it's like to be live in person International Fight Week. And on top of that, some say, again, this is some, not me. Not me. I'm not saying this. I agree because I'm there. But a lot of people saying it was the best card of the year. Are you hearing that?
I've been hearing it. I've been hearing best
That's what I heard.
That's
what I heard, man. That's what I heard.
Rumor has it, man, dude, that I just fell in love even more with the sport.
Yeah.
That was just so incredible being there, seeing the who's who all weekend long. Man, dude, that was peak UFC, at least from when I've been here, when I've been a fan, you know?
That's like, man, I try to tell people, like, I just wish, like, everybody needs to experience being at a UFC event live. Like, I was blown away in San Diego. Shout out to UFC San Diego, by the way. But, like, I was like, damn, like, this shit's crazy. But being there in T-Mobile in Vegas for a pay-per-view International Fight Week, that I get, like, emotional about it. I get chills. Like, that shit it's unreal. Like, I really just, like, can't explain it. Like, it's so hard to put into words, like, what it's like being there and, like, seeing that shit. The crowd reactions, like, seeing, like, Bruce Buffer, like, the production, like, everything that goes into that shit, the walkouts, like, that shit is insane.
Bro, you couldn't even hear yourself screaming in there. I'd be screaming at the top of my lungs, and so would everyone else, and you can't even hear it, bro. That blew away any sporting event I've ever been to in my life. Honestly, the bar wasn't very high, but that was top 5 nights of my life right there, man. I had a smile on my face from about an hour before until the next morning. That was just, it was something out of this world.
I tell you, like, even if you're like, yeah, even if you're like a sports fan and you're just like a UFC like casual, you're just a sports fan. Like, if you like, even before, like, us, when we were like UFC fans, we just like football, basketball, baseball. Like, even if you're like us 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you still have to go because it's a sporting event, and it's like it's like one of the best sporting events in the world, I think, personally. Like, it's you gotta, like, be there to understand, bro. But it's just like, and bro, one thing I want to say too is, like, to the UFC, like, community, is, like, I've been to, like, basketball, football, like, every sport you can imagine. There's no nicer fans and people to, like, sit with than being at a UFC event. And you wouldn't think that because you're, like, at a fight and seeing people punch each other, and you would think, like, oh, everyone's drinking, they want to fight too because they see it. It's literally the opposite of that. Everyone's so fucking cool.
The coolest people, just all different types of people too. Just everyone acting like we're best friends, even though we just met each other when we sat down. That, yeah, man, football games, basketball games, baseball games, you know, it's not really rare to run into a fan that's a dickhead that's sitting around you. You know, people just like to argue for no reason. But, bro, after every round of every fight, like, our whole group of, like, about 5 to 8 people would all turn around and start talking.
Yeah, that shit, bro. Like, it's literally, like, from the time you walk into the arena, like, just everything. It's, like, such a great experience. But I can go on about that. We can go on about that. Let's get into it, man. Main event, UFC 290. Alexander Volkanovski defeats Yair Rodriguez by knockout in round 3. Just a masterclass by Volk. You know, I mean, every time a fight like this comes up, you know, everyone's like, oh, like, is this the one? Is this the one? And I personally thought this was, if there was one, it would be this one, and it would be Yair. But like, Volk just proves again why he's on another level. Controlled the fight from the beginning, just the way he game plans, the way he schemes. Yeah. And what was your reaction to that? It was it's like an honor, and it's amazing to watch greatness live in person. Like, you see him on TV and you just, like, obviously he's great and we know he's great, but, like, I really, like, want to say that I appreciated being able to watch him live in person because he's a master of what he does, and he's one of the GOATs.
Yeah, that's a great way to sum it up. This is kind of weird, a weird comparison. Obviously, their body types aren't similar at all, but Volk, he gives me John Jones vibes inside the cage. Just when it comes to how he game plans and how versatile he is and how good he is everywhere, and just the composure, the fight IQ, just like recognizing when to pounce. Like as soon as he caught Yair with that right hook, he just marched him down and turned into a Terminator, dumped him, had one of the cleanest transitions I've seen besides like Bo Nickel transitions and stuff like that. But dude, he's a legend.
And it's not even like, obviously he took him down and wrestled him for a little bit, but like he stood there with him and he struck with him, like, and he outstruck him and he fucking knocked him out. Like he's just, I'm just speechless on the whole night. But like, he's just a GOAT. So I guess this begs the question, like, I know what I want to ask and I know what I'm going to say, but I want to ask you, is he the best featherweight ever?
Dude, has to be, at least from what I've seen. I don't know. I didn't live through the Jose Aldo reign, but you've got to put him above Max at this point because he's defended against people not named Max Holloway almost as much as Max did, and he beat Max 3 times. And yeah, dude, I've got to give it to Volk. Just the way that he gets it done. He got in trouble against Ortega, got dropped by Max with the head kick, but every single time he never even lost the round after that, really. Like he would recover within 20 seconds and be right back to doing what he's doing. His mentality is just out of this world. Ew. Oh my gosh, man. Yeah, I think he's the featherweight GOAT.
So my thing is featherweight GOAT, yes. Is he the best of all time ever? Pound for pound. That's more of my debate.
I think if his
recency bias, it could be just I'm high on that shit, but like, bro, like at what point? At what point?
Bro, I mean, his only loss in the UFC is the most heavily disputed loss of the year.
There's no greater loss in MMA history than that loss. Like that loss elevated him even more.
I would completely agree with that, dude.
That's what's fucking crazy.
Because more than half the people you talked to were saying that they thought Volk won, whether that was because they wanted him, because most people did want Volk. You can't deny the fact that it was an insanely close fight. I had thought Islam originally, but watched it back, thought Volk, watched it again, kind of thought Islam. So I don't know. I just think it was a razor thin fight. But I think it's a fight that we need to see it again. And if he did get his hand raised on that night against Islam, I think a lot more people would be having the discussion whether Volk's the GOAT or not. So I think it's a very fair discussion to have. I still put John above him just because John did it for so damn long. And he also fought the who's who. But, I mean, there's no reason to say that Volk can't get there. Still probably got 3-4 more years.
So speaking of the wanting to see that Islam and Volk fight next, who is next for Volk at 45? Obviously, they had the face off with Topuria. But I think what you have to factor in with Volk's next opponent is the fact that there's no opponent for Islam. Charles said he's not ready by Abu Dhabi. So is it Islam next? Do they run that back right away? Do they go Volk Topuria? Volk said he has to get surgery.
Yeah, on his hand, or on his arm, I want to say. I'm not really sure about the specifics, but it sounded like something
before the fight though. Like, was that known?
So, it wasn't known, but I think he knew about it before the fight because he said, like, yeah, I've been dealing with it, but wasn't going to let it stop me. But now I got to get it fixed up.
Okay. So I did see his timetable on that. He did say he could make Abu Dhabi. So if there's no, I think, and again, like this is like having to factor in all the factors, but like there's no opponent for Islam other than Charles, and Charles said he's not ready to go. You would imagine Gaethje and Dustin are gonna have a fucking war. They're not gonna be ready to go. So yeah, I mean, what do you do? What is next for Volk?
Gosh, dude. I mean, once you say that, it really gets me thinking because first thought to everyone's head is Topuria, obviously, once you see that face off. But once you say it about Islam, dude already hasn't fought since October.
Since October 22nd, right here. We were there.
Yeah,
We were
it'll already be a year if he fights on Abu Dhabi, and that's like an 80-90% thing as far as what we all think. So, dude, there really isn't anyone else at 155 that could get put in there, huh?
No, I mean, you would hope that. I mean, do you do a Chandler if the shit with Connor falls through?
Ooh. I mean, I think you offer it to Volk first, and last case scenario, I don't think anyone's mad about Chandler, like entertainment wise.
Yeah.
Sport wise, people would probably be like, that's not really fair, but it's just a weird situation right now with lightweight. Guys are just on the different timetables.
Yeah, I think this definitely could set up for Volk and getting that rematch.
Oh man, I don't like that it would be on kind of a shorter preparation though.
Yeah.
You know, because I think last time we fought Islam, they had everything dialed into a T and they were working from a ways out, and Volk was grinding for that. So
yeah,
if he's having to come off of a surgery, get back into shape a little bit, or obviously he'll still be in shape probably, but shape for Volk. And I don't know, dude. I really don't like that scenario going into that fight for Volk, but I could see it happening.
Yeah, I think it lines up for, I don't know. Again, like we can't. It's hard to sit here and say what's Volk's next fight when we then bring up Islam, but that's just the reality of the sport is you don't know. So yeah, they could just scratch Islam, make him wait longer, and then you just do Volk and Topuria. But yeah, I think it's either Volk. I mean, we can agree it's either probably Topuria or Islam. And I do, and personally, like I would love the Topuria fight, but then I feel like I'm coming in with more certainty that Volk wins that. Just seeing what he did to Yair.
Yeah, I mean, also Topuria is probably not at his peak yet. He's still young. I mean, obviously he's amazing already, but I think he still has some room to grow.
One thing I was gonna say, it obviously doesn't match up, but what about the possibility of Aljo fighting Volk next?
Just skip Topuria?
Well, because you would have to assume if Aljo beats O'Malley, his first fight at 45 is for the title.
Yeah, I agree. Damn, dude. Yeah, it's gonna be a weird timetable with all that.
Volk set up for a big fight next.
That's crazy. Volk could fight anyone from Islam to Topuria to Aljo.
He could fight a 55er or a 25er or a 35er.
Yeah, he has like 3 great options for him, all at different weight classes. Yeah. And one more thing before we get off the Volk discussion, I think one thing that would solidify him as the GOAT is if he was able to defend both belts at the same time. If he was able to win both belts and then defend both belts, like even just once or twice, that's something that's never been done before. So I think that would put him in a league of his own.
Yeah, definitely. Get on to our next co-main event of the evening, fight of the night. The Mexican crowd. Anyway, shouts to Yair and shouts to the Mexican crowd there. The Mexican crowd there was insane. Almost had me going for Yair in a little bit just because I wanted to see them win. Not a great night for the Mexican fans, for the Mexican fighters, but we'll get right into it. Co-main event, Alexandre Pantoja defeats Brandon Moreno to claim the title at 25. Split decision, 5-round war, fight of the night, electric atmosphere, and the whole arena was crazy. Probably probably the most controversial scorecard. And again, like one thing I want to say is I like how it wasn't like a robbery. Like, no, it was a close fight. It could win either way. Closest fight on the card, probably other than Hooker and Turner. I watched it back this morning. I do have a scorecard for you, but I want to hear your thoughts first and what you think about the fight and what you think about our new champion.
Yeah, bro. So I also watched it back today. Amazing fight. We were pretty high up, so we weren't really able to see a lot of small details going on. And dude, it literally felt like a 10-minute time span while that whole thing went on. And that was crazy when I look at the video and it says 48 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, dude. But yeah, man, Pantoja, I think he came out really strong in the first round, obviously, was finding a home with that left hook. Dropped Moreno with that. And then Moreno came back in the second round, dominated Pantoja, and then Pantoja took the third. Pantoja's his up kicks when he was on his back, dude, those were playing a very big factor because that was a close fight.
We thought one of them dropped him.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, we were like that dropped him, but I mean, I think it kind of did, bro. Watching it back, like it hurt him, put him to a knee, and then I think Moreno definitely started to find his way a little bit in the striking. He started to kind of dominate the stand-up game a little bit. But Pantoja was able to do just enough in the grappling department. Yeah. And I hate using this word, but it kind of felt like he was hanging on for dear life a little bit. Obviously, that's really hard to do against somebody like Moreno. And Moreno's grappling, especially the ground game, is very much improved from the first time they fought. As you could tell, he was able to get out of some really bad situations. And yeah, dude, it was just a razor thin fight. So I had Pantoja winning 48-47. I had Pantoja winning the first, the third, and the fifth. With the fourth one, I almost wanted to make it a draw because it was that close. Moreno was piecing him up on the feet, and then Pantoja controlled him for about 3.5 minutes, but didn't really land or threaten submission. So I gave it to Moreno, but that one could have went either way. Yeah, so let's hear your thoughts.
So I had round one, I had Moreno winning until Pantoja's knockdown. So Pantoja wins round 1, 10-9. One important factor that I really do want to say is I don't think without that knockdown, Pantoja wins the round. So I think that's a really big difference in the fight. So you say, let's turn around and say Moreno wins that round. A lot of scorecards are different. So I think that knockdown in the first isn't being talked about. That's a huge knock. Obviously, any knockdown's huge, but no one remembers because the rest of the fight was a classic and a war. But that knockdown in the first was really huge because that stole him the round. So 10-9 Pantoja round 1. Round 2, they traded shots on the feet. Moreno got the takedown. Moreno dominated round 2. It felt like at the end of round 2, just watching it back, like, okay, like Moreno's gonna pull away here. Like this is how it goes. He's gonna win the next 2 out of 3 rounds, cruise to a decision, or maybe even get a finish. And then Pantoja just comes out right away, super active on the ground in round 3. They traded shots on the feet. I gave a slight edge to Moreno on the feet in round 3, but again, like you said, Pantoja did enough in the grappling. Got 2 takedowns. That was the difference. So I had 10-9 Pantoja in round 3. And then round 4, obviously the close one that we talked about that kind of decided the fight on a lot of people's scorecards. Moreno was winning on the feet until Pantoja's takedown. I think we can all agree that. But then again, it's just Pantoja was on his back so much and had so much control time and ended the round on top, ended the round on his back. When it's that close, you have to give it to, in my opinion, you have to give it to Pantoja. So I have 10-9 Pantoja. And then round 5, again, even on the feet, trading on the feet until Pantoja took his back. And then Pantoja ends the round on his back, ends the fight on the back, 10-9 Pantoja. So it's like when you score these fights, it's hard to look at that fight and say, damn, did Pantoja really win 4 out of 5 rounds? But you can't. So looking back at it when I did my scorecard, so I had 49-46 Pantoja. I'm like, well, then if that's the case, I got to give round 4 to Moreno to make it closer because it was close. But you can't do that. You have to score each round in the round. So I can't score round 4 to Moreno knowing that, okay, Pantoja's going to win round 5 or the last 2. Like you have to, and that's hard to do. You have to like score every round as its own round. So yeah, I mean, for as close a fight as it was, I had Pantoja winning 4 out of 5 rounds. But again, I think every round everyone agrees on except round 4. So it's not like it could definitely go either way.
Yeah, dude, I don't know how that one judge got to 49-46 Moreno.
Yeah,
I don't know. You would have had to give him the third, right? Every round except the first.
I mean, but Pantoja had 2 takedowns in the third.
Yeah, and in the fifth, it was dead even in the striking, and then Pantoja dominated in the grappling. So you like have to give the fifth to Pantoja, I feel like. But
yeah,
dude, I don't know. That's a weird one. I didn't get a chance to look up the judge's name as we just heard the scores get said out loud. But
the question is, do they run this one back? Again, Moreno's kind of Moreno loves having these third and fourth fights. I would imagine if they do run it back and Moreno wins, you do it again. Moreno's gonna have 2-4 fights in UFC history. You don't think so?
I mean, you have to, right?
Yeah.
Like if, I think you have to do the rematch, honestly, just because when you have something at flyweight that people are really excited about, you don't just want to throw that in the trash.
Yeah.
Seeing who would be next? Royval, probably, who I think Pantoja already beat.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That doesn't excite me nearly as much as seeing Moreno in there again. And Moreno's the cash cow of flyweight, whether you like it or not. So I think the UFC wants to keep him at the top. So yeah, give me the rematch. What's your take on it?
I think definitely. I mean, I think that close of a fight, you have to do the rematch. Pantoja's 2-0. Some would say 3-0. But yeah, I mean, you definitely in this flyweight division, you just got to run him back. If we saw Figgy Moreno 4 times, why can't we see this one? Moreno's always going to sell.
Thanks. Dude, did you see how going into the 5th round the live odds were even?
Yeah,
that's crazy. That is some rare stuff, and that's exactly how I had it scored on my book. I had it, each guy winning 2 rounds going into the 5th. So yeah, dude, that was just a razor close fight. That's not the saying, but yeah, I want to see the rematch as well.
Yeah. Again, in our third fight from the top of the evening, Dricus du Plessis defeats Robert Whitaker round 2 via knockout. One of the most unexpected finishes. I was all over, like, not even close. Dricus has no chance. Din Thomas told me Dricus had no chance, so shout out to Din Thomas. I did get a picture with Din Thomas. I played blackjack with Michael Johnson. We see Giga Chikaze in the hotel. Yeah. I sat there and played a lot of hands of blackjack with Michael Johnson. He didn't win a lot of money, but yeah, it was a cool weekend, cool experience. Forgot to mention that. Shout out to Michael Johnson.
Yeah, that's crazy. You just got to play with him for a minute. Hey, he's gotten those 50K bonuses enough times. He's good.
Yeah, he's chilling. So yeah,
that shit,
go ahead.
I feel like that shit, like how we were both saying that Dricus had no chance. That's just that stuff that makes you love this sport.
Yeah,
so much. Like there's just no other sports like it where going into a game or going into a fight, everyone's riding off someone, and then the other guy just goes out there and walks through him. Like, dude, Dricus, he ate those early punches. And then I feel like once he kind of felt Whitaker's better shots and wasn't too phased, he just kind of had his way.
Do you think it was more of Dricus was better than we thought, which obviously he was, but did you think Rob looked like himself and just Dricus was just better?
Bro, I think Dricus is just a lot bigger and stronger.
Yeah, big.
Like when Whitaker shot for that takedown in the first round, it was a good takedown, but Dricus just did some guillotine. Like it wasn't even, like a great angle or anything like that, but he just held on and squeezed, and it gave Whitaker a tough time getting out.
Yeah.
Like that dude's he's a brick house.
Definitely. Big win from Dricus. Of course, my guy had to make an appearance in there. We wasn't going for none of that bullshit. We had to go in there and we had to set it up. We had to face off. We had to look each other in the eyes. He had to feel us, like Izzy said, he had to feel us. So I guess it's safe to say, quick finish by Dricus. It's official. Izzy versus Dricus du Plessis in Australia. Let's fucking rock. We got a fight, baby. Here we go. What are your early takes on this one, and what do you think?
Early takes on this one, I think Dricus will win the war of words, but Izzy will spark him in the octagon.
Yeah, I kind of see it going how I thought it would go with Rob. Like Dricus is gonna keep so much pressure that Izzy's gonna have to drop him. and I think that's what's gonna happen. Is Izzy's gonna drop him probably round 3. I'm gonna go Izzy round 3 knockout. I just think like I just think after you stand in front of Alex Pereira, no one really scares you. And he's definitely not scared of Dricus. Not that he was ever scared of Pereira, but I think he did a little. I think you have in the fight you have to fear somebody. I think he did fear Pereira. But yeah, I think that after you go through Pereira, there's no one that's really gonna scare you or make you like feel differently. And I just don't see Dricus being better than Pereira. Like he's just as big. I think he just has maybe not the same amount of power, but yeah, I don't see a path to victory for Dricus. Like I don't see him. I don't think he's as technical as Pereira. I don't think he's as good as a kickboxer as Pereira. So I don't see him being able to touch Izzy. I love this fight, man. I love it because he's gonna talk shit. He's gonna be really good in the media. I love Robert Whitaker, so it would have been not tough for me because I rock with Izzy, but it would have been I would have hated to see Robert lose. But yeah, fuck Dricus, so let's rock.
Yeah, and I have to say I kind of do see a path for Dricus to victory. I don't think it's gonna happen, but if he's able to just walk through a punch or two, and then get Izzy to the ground, his ground and pound changes fights. Like once Whitaker got up from being under Dricus after that first round, he almost looked like he didn't want to be there anymore. And I had never seen Whitaker really look like that in a fight, because when he got knocked out by Izzy, it was just kind of over in an instant. Well, I guess he got knocked out at the end of the first, but yeah, dude, I don't know. I think Dricus, he's kind of a freak in my opinion. So like if he can find a way to just get on top and start throwing some mean elbows, there's a chance, but I definitely like Izzy a lot more.
All these weight bullies, bro, try to come and bully Izzy. That shit ain't happening, bro. We're not letting that shit slide.
That's what the guys in front of us were saying. They said, he a weight bully.
That's a big, he is a big body, but I got to give my respect to Dricus. I'm not afraid to say it. I didn't think he had a chance. A lot of people didn't think he had a chance. Robert Whitaker was my last leg of my parlay, so fuck. But yeah, surprising, and that's why the sport is what it is. No one thought that. Everyone thought that was an easy win for Robert. So yeah, and then we get a new fight. We get something interesting, something new.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's good for the sport.
I think it's best for the division as well.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, dude, and I've got to also say I didn't think Dricus had a chance. I was gonna bet like more than $1,000 on Whitaker, and I'm just oh my goodness, I'm so glad I didn't. Now I'm gonna be scared to place a big bet next time already, just because of that.
You can place that big bet on Izzy, trust me. A lot of money going on Izzy.
Yeah. What do you think the odds will be if you had to guess the line?
Izzy minus 250. I mean, if Robert Whitaker was 330,
that's what I'm saying.
Obviously it's less because now they know Dricus is good. I'd probably say Izzy minus 250, 275, if I had to guess.
I like that.
CKB opponent or teammate of Izzy, Dan Hooker, gets a big win. Yeah, round of applause to Dan Hooker. Fucking masterclass, fucking war. I was mad, bro, when I was watching the press conference and shit that this fight didn't get fight of the night or Dan Hooker didn't get performance. He beats a guy who didn't fucking make weight. He doesn't get a performance bonus.
Yeah, and the guy's 6'4" who didn't make weight, so he was just a giant in there.
Yeah, Dan Hooker was fucking walking through some shots.
Oh my goodness!
I liked Dan Hooker in this one. Not enough to bet it. A lot of plays I would have won, bro. Like I just was scared to bet. I don't know, but yeah, shouts to Dan Hooker. What a fucking war. That's why he is who he is. Fucking broke his wrist or his hand or whatever he broke. And
yeah, dude, I've never seen I can't say that, but that was one of the nastiest head kicks I've ever seen somebody eat. We could hear it up from where we were. And Turner was sniping him in the first round. And then at the end of the first, Hooker clipped him with a left hook, or closer to the end of the first. And then Turner hit that head kick in the second, I think. And then, dude, it was kind of weird. Like after Turner hit that giant head kick and landed those elbows, that's when the fight started to swing in Hooker's favor.
Yeah.
In a weird way. Like after Turner lands the biggest shot of the fight, maybe a little demoralizing. Like if that didn't put him out, I don't know what will. Yeah. Then I think you said it to me, Turner doesn't want to be there, like close to the end of the second.
Yeah.
And dude, Hooker's just the definition of a dog.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Slow. I just hate that he's such a slow starter. In every
Yeah.
fight, like if he can get out of the first round, then he's top 10 pound for pound. Dude
Yeah, for
is
sure.
oh my goodness, bro. Hooker's something different, man. I didn't really give him
special to see like in person.
Yeah, shouts Jalen Turner too, even though he missed weight. Still a fan of the guy, has a dope fight style, always shows up to put on a huge or a great show for the fans. Bro, I don't get how you can boo a fighter walking out. Like it would take a lot for me.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
Someone, like they're going out there putting their health on the line for you, their pride.
Bro, speaking of that, Pantoja had the coldest fucking walkout. That shit was fucking cold.
I was gonna say we got to talk about that.
That
I don't know how they
fucking cold.
I thought you would have been able to hear us singing in the broadcast. We were singing that thing at the top of our lungs. Bro, best walkout of the night by a mile. I thought, yours was going to be pretty unbeatable, but yeah, Pantoja walked out to many men, and that just, whoo. After that, I felt really good about my Pantoja bet.
Hella electric. But yeah, shout to Dan Hooker for that big win.
Hangman.
That concludes our main card.
Bo Nickel.
Or Bo Nickel, sorry. Yeah, Bo Nickel. Yeah, I mean, what do you say about Bo? There's nothing much to say.
Now that's an athletic freak right there.
Yeah.
Bro, that's someone who has like that high D1 level athleticism mixed with, a UFC work ethic.
Yeah.
And you can tell he's just getting better and better at striking. Like the way that he was getting in and out, it wasn't as clean as top strikers in the division, but it was just like you can notice a difference from his previous fights on the feet. Like he just looks cleaner, more comfortable.
And believe it or not, like even though he was a minus 1,000 or 1,200, whatever he was, there was a lot of people like being like, oh, like I don't know, like we got to give Val a chance. Like so, even though he was a favorite, like everyone was still like, nah, like Bo's not that guy. Even I was saying it was like, bro, like
including me.
I was like, nah, like I was like, I was like, all right, I for sure think at least Val gets out of the first round. Like I think he's gonna go to the second round. I think Bo's gonna struggle a little bit. Like still win the first, but struggle. Fuck that.
38 seconds.
Yeah. By the way, shouts to Val Woodburn taking the fight short notice. Didn't look like he really had a team around him. So
yeah, it was sad, dude. We saw him in the New York after the fights, probably like 2 or 3 hours later. Gave him a fist bump. Yeah, he actually did have like 2 guys with him, which was good to see. Like still, not normal.
After the fight?
Yeah. It's just like in the main area in the New York, where they have that like circle bar and all the tables and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We were there getting a drink and he walked right past us. We were like, hey, we gave him fist bumps and he seemed like he was in all right spirits. So I hope he should get another shot against a more level opponent for him.
Yeah.
You think so?
For sure. Yeah.
He was so much smaller than I Like he's jacked, but I think he's 5'8" or something like that. That's not super tall for a middleweight.
Yeah, I think you for sure, when you take a fight like that, you for sure deserve another chance. He kept, I'm not going to say kept the card together, but everyone was there to see Bo Nickel, so he stepped up, and without him, we wouldn't have seen Bo Nickel. Yep. So shout out to him.
And he did not get a fat payday. I looked at it, $12K. So, yeah. So it's not like they offered him a bag to step in on short notice either. He just did it. So he better not get cut.
You're for sure getting, and I'm not saying you deserve a performance bonus, but you should for sure get your show and win for that.
Or just like a flat rate.
You can't give him whatever Turner lost?
For real. Or at least some of it, yeah.
Yeah.
They don't want to do that. They probably just hang on to that.
Yeah. But anyway, that concludes our main card. On to the prelim main event. It doesn't stop. Robbie Lawler knocks out Nico Price in the first round. That was probably the most like shocking, other than Dricus. Like that was the most like what the fuck. Like that was like damn. Like we're really here. Like that.
Hey, Dean got it right on that one, huh?
Yeah, Dean Thomas. Shouts Dean Thomas. He did tell me Robbie Lawler.
Bro, I think that might end up being like the most memorable moment of this card. 5-10 years off in the future. It's because it was Robbie Lawler's retirement. Remember the video they showed after?
Yeah.
He's getting a standing ovation for a good minute or two in there. The crowd was going nuts. Just the way it happened too with the knockout.
Yeah.
We haven't been around for too while, but I think that's got to be the best retirement ever. Just the way everything played out.
Yeah, it was definitely crazy to see. Shouts Robbie Lawler, true legend. They played the thank you video, retirement video. Glad he won after that. I don't know if there was a plan to do it if he lost, but glad he won and they got to do that. And just the way he won, fucking knockout was insane. Again, just crazy to be there for that. Glad we got to experience that. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing more to say. What a legend of the sport.
Yeah, it was like hard not to get emotional in there when that was going on too. He made his UFC debut in 2001, I want to say.
Yeah.
He's fought eras on eras of guys. He's fought guys who are probably like 50 or 60 now.
Yeah.
And
crazy.
He's also fought guys who are in their 20s or 30s. Bro, man. Robbie's just one of the true legends, Hall of Famer for sure. So thank you for everything, Robbie Lawler. It's pretty rare you get to see somebody go out with a win too. Because usually when you're retiring, it's because you're not you're a step slower. And in the UFC, you usually get knocked out when that's the case. But yeah, man, that was like a storybook ending to his career right there. I hope he doesn't come back, not because I don't want to see him fight again, but just because it's not going to get any better than that.
Yeah, I get you. Rest of the card, Tetsuro Taria beats Edgar Chairez unanimous decision. Shouts Edgar, he was like plus 650, so to take that fight, unanimous decision. Great showing from him. Yasmin Howergy loses to Denise Gomes. I don't know how to feel about it because I love Yasmin, but then I also like fucking called Denise winning.
Sniped it. Like military sniped it from weeks out.
Yeah, so I was like, I don't know how to feel about it, but I just ended up taking the under 2.5, so I won some money there. I didn't have it in me to actually bet on Gomes. But yeah, shouts Gomes. I liked her film a lot, and I just didn't think that for that line that was a disrespectful line to her.
Oh man.
Jimmy Crew loses to Alonzo Menfield. Menfield subs Jimmy Crew. Yeah. Crazy because a lot of people, even me, was saying like maybe Crew by submission. So for Menfield to win on the ground, finally finishes that I guess so-called rivalry. They had a draw, finishes that one. Victor Petrino wins by submission over Prachnio. Again, one of my predictions, had my parlay. Thank you, Petrino. Shouts John Anik.
Dang.
Did you see John Anik when he was saying that?
What did he say?
They were saying like how Petrino doesn't have. I think he was saying Petrino doesn't have a finish, but then he's like I think he's gonna get one here, and it was like a minute later, and he finished him.
Oh yeah, I remember here. That was when Joe Rogan's like, it's almost kind of creepy.
Yeah. Cameron Samian, 22-year-old, wins by quick knockout. Jesus Aguilar, one of the probably best knockouts of the night.
I was bummed that he didn't get a bonus.
Yeah, the bonuses were weird, bro. I felt like it was a great night. It was a great week. Like, let's be generous with the bonuses, Dana. What are we doing?
Oh, this is one that they could have given a lot of bonuses out.
I just would have gave it to every winner. There wasn't no one that had a boring fight.
Yeah, Tyro's was on the fringe. It was still a good fight, but he kind of just laid on him. But bro, yeah, literally everybody else had I think there was 4 knockouts under 40 seconds in the first 9 fights or something like that.
Yeah, crazy.
Just a legend. I don't know if we can call it legendary, only 2 days removed, but it sure does feel like
we
it.
For sure can. We for sure can.
Yeah, man, that just had me feeling.
Because it's not even like worth saying it. Like we were there, and so we know. But like, I feel like when you're there, you don't really think about it. You're just like in the moment you're there. But like when you're seeing people tweet, multiple people text me like, "Bro, this is the card of the year."
Yeah,
multiple.
Yeah, so doesn't it feel? Oh my God.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it feels great when your non-UFC friends are texting you about UFC.
Yeah,
it was one of those nights.
Yeah, definitely.
When all the group chats are talking about it.
Yeah,
everything, man, that was magical.
Yeah, what a weekend! What a night it was. Again, Dana White, you did it again. Shouts Sean Shelby, Hunter Campbell. All the matchmakers that put it in. Shouts to everybody in the UFC for the week that it was. From the press conference to UFC X to everything. What a phenomenal experience. Just again shows that this is the most growing sport in the world. So don't miss the bus before it takes off. And again, so just to put into like words what this sport is and how the sport never stops. Saturday, we're getting ready for the fights. We're locked in. We get an announcement: John Jones versus Stipe Miocic in Madison Square Garden, UFC 295, November 11th. The best heavyweight of all time versus the best fighter of all time finally gets done in the Mecca MSG. We didn't really have time to talk about it or think about it just because it was Saturday. We were locked in on the fights. So I finally like thought about it today and really like sat down and like just like able to process it today. And I was like, damn, like that fight's really fucking happening. Yeah. What do you think about that one? We fucking get a bomb on Saturday, kind of just flew under the radar, but it's here, it's happening. And what do you think?
Bro, that like escaped my mind just because I've still been on a high from this.
Yeah.
But I think Stipe is a lot tougher fight for John than Cyril is. It'll be interesting to see how he looks. I saw something that said when that fight happens, it'll have been like 938 days or something like that since he's last fought.
Yeah, he fought.
So you don't really know how someone's
COVID.
going to look after 3 years.
It was COVID.
Yeah, his last fight was Francis.
COVID, yeah.
So, oh yeah, that was crazy. That had to be the craziest Apex knockout.
Yeah.
Just dead silence in there after Stipe's leg folded. Oh, that was so sad. But anyway, we get to see I don't know, is Stipe the heavyweight GOAT in your opinion?
Yeah.
Get to see the heavyweight GOAT versus the GOAT.
Yeah, heavyweight GOAT versus the GOAT.
I think that just sells itself right there.
And I still think if John wins this fight, Stipe's still the heavyweight GOAT. You can't really give me heavyweight GOAT when you've only fought twice.
Yeah.
He's probably the best fighter to ever fight in heavyweight, but that's two different things.
Yeah. Stipe is very old also. It's not like it's a prime Stipe Miocic he's facing.
But I think one thing that needs to be said or talked about or acknowledged before like people pass over is I think this is both of their final fights in the UFC.
Yeah, dude, that's actually going to be insane to see. Like losing two of the biggest stars of the last decade, or maybe probably damn near 2 decades at this point. Yeah. Losing both of them on the same night, that's going to hurt. It's going to be an emotional night in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Ooh-wee, man, this train just does not stop moving.
Yeah, November 11th, MSG. The last time we were in MSG was, I think it was the first Izzy and Pereira fight. Don't quote me on that, but I know that fight was there. I don't know if it's the last time we were there.
Yeah, I think so. Because Henry and Aljo is in New Jersey. Yeah. Because that's when like Ali Kinza fought, right? Retired, I think.
Poirier and Chandler too.
Okay.
And Esparza and Wei Li.
Yuck.
Frankie Edgar's retirement fight. Good card.
Well, Frankie Edgar's retired. Yeah, that's who it was. Not Ali Kinza. Yeah, but
yeah. So do you have an early prediction in the Stipe and John Jones fight?
Probably John. I honestly I'm a John fan, but I wouldn't even be mad to see Stipe get the job done. Like that would be crazy to see.
I feel like Jones get beat. Like I want to see John stay perfect. I love perfection.
That's true. Just for the GOAT arguments too.
I just love
makes it a lot easier.
I love perfection. I just hate seeing like undefeated fighters lose. Like I don't know why. I like perfection. I don't know. But yeah, I definitely think if Stipe wins, it's just like cool. He wins, vacates it. The question is like, who's the next guy in the heavyweight division that's gonna like
carry the torch?
Yeah, like who gets us up for that?
I think it's got to be Sergey, right?
Yeah,
and Sergey's exciting. I love watching his fights. So I mean, he's not a huge character outside the cage because he can't really speak English, but yeah, it seems like the potential's there for that. That picture of him on the slots was pretty funny.
Yeah,
maybe he can. Yeah, Sergey would be my guess for the next heavyweight guy after these.
Yeah,
but I don't like. I feel like Cyril would beat him with his dumbass style. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think anybody.
I feel like the only way to beat Cyril is grappling. Like you're not gonna get to Cyril on the feet, or at least like a heavyweight.
Yeah, so yeah, he could cause some problems for him. Again, it's all about matchups. Yeah, anyway, train keeps going. We get John Jones this week. They would a big announcement. They did say it was supposed to be announced like during the press conference. They're supposed to have a press conference there. That didn't get done. Sadly, we could have seen that shit. We did see GSP again. Shout out to GSP. GSP's back to grappling, I think, in December. He's going to grapple.
Oh, yeah. That was sick. That was in the press conference. We saw that live and in person.
Yeah, we did.
Bro, the dudes behind us thought he was coming back to fight.
Yeah, I know. I didn't want to say
They're like, who's he fighting? Who's he fighting?
Yeah. But yeah, the show goes on. We're back to reality this week in the Apex. We got it's gonna be weird to watch this week. Like, what the fuck are we watching? We got Holly Holm versus Mayra Bueno Silva. Bantamweight main event. Holly Holm minus 150. Bueno Silva plus 125. Don't want to get too much into it. Not really interested personally. I guess just my question I have to you is, if Holly Holm wins, does she put herself in that bantamweight title shot with a Pena or a Pennington?
I think so. I mean, she's only on, I don't know though. She's only on a one fight. I mean, she's only won her last fight. She lost the one before that. But I guess she's a draw according to the UFC because they keep making her a main event. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know, dude. That division, it's gonna need some new faces in there.
Yeah, I do have some news for you on this card. JDM will fight. He's gonna face Basel Havziz at 170. Whoa. He's gonna make his debut. So yeah, JDM will be fighting this week.
This weekend?
Yep.
Fuck, make that the main event. I guess it can't be a 5-rounder, but yeah. I mean, that's the people's main event.
Yeah. Shout out to Jack Della. He gets his fight. I wish he would have fought this weekend. We could have seen him, but anyway, that fight is done. He will fight this weekend.
Yeah, dude. And his fight got canceled after he had made weight, right? Or was it before?
No, it was.
It was before.
It got canceled. Found an opponent. Then that one got canceled.
Yeah. Dang, dude. He definitely started his weight cut and traveled across the globe, but dang, hopefully that doesn't affect him having to do like 2 weight cuts in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Must not if he wants to fight though.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the Terrence McKinney versus Nadim Sadikov fight this week. That's the first one on the main card.
Yeah.
Let me see what the odds are. I hope McKinney can get back in the winners column. He's a plus 125 dog right now. I'll probably be riding with him. And then one of the guys who I gave my guarantee to win and he lost his fighting, Melsik Bagdasaryan, the gun. He's taking on Tucker Lutz. He's a minus 200 favorite. And yeah, those are the main ones that stand out to me on this card.
Yeah, gonna be hard to get up for it this weekend, but yeah, what it is. How far out are we from Poirier?
Bro, we're good after this weekend. We got UFC London, or it's a fight night, but Tom Aspinall makes his return the next week. And then,
oh shit, that's a card.
Yeah, that's a card. All right, when Davey Grant's on the prelims, it's a card.
Yeah, it's a card. Yeah,
Barberena way down there. Dang. And then, yeah, dude, we got Poirier Gaethje in 2 weeks, right?
Yes, sir.
Or 3.
2. It's July 29th. So yeah, 3 weeks, I guess. Well, yeah, but yeah, man, what a week. Always great to see you, but just what a weekend in general. I again, if you're an MMA fan, I recommend going to not only a UFC event live in person, but just that whole weekend. It's just amazing to see. I mean, if you're just in it, also if you're just a fan of sports, it's also NBA Summer League, so you get to see so many people. It's just a place to be that weekend.
Yeah,
I'm still in awe. I can't believe it. You can't put a price on like that experience. Nope. I'm glad we spent the money. I'm glad we were there. Yeah, just amazing, man. One of the best things I've ever seen. So that's all I got, man.
Yeah, dude, it was amazing to see you as well. We don't get to see each other too often, probably like a few times a year. Hopefully that'll get to be more frequent. But I mean, yeah, man, you summed it up pretty well. It's still hard to put into words. Like I've had thoughts come across my head and I'm like, oh, I'm going to say that on the pod. And now I just can't remember them. I got to start writing them down.
It's just chills, bro. Like it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I just get chills.
Oh, you got any takes on Wemby? Victor Wembanyama, the 7'3" French basketball player for y'all only MMA fans out there. He's like, people are saying he's the best prospect since LeBron.
Really bad the first night, really good the second night. I don't take too much into effect from either one. I just take bits and pieces from both of what I see, what I like, and what I don't. My early take is I think he has to get stronger. That's everybody. But that's obvious to say. That's not a real take. I would say that he needs to get a little bit better handle. He needs to be able to hit a pull-up jumper and like be able to get to a spot. Be interested to see if they play him at the center or the 4. I'd be interested to see that.
Yeah.
But I thought he protects the rim well. He rebounds well. There's definitely something there. To sit here and say he's going to be Tim Duncan or Kevin Durant or whoever they're saying he's going to be, I would just never say that. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely something there. He's going to be with Pop. He's going to be with Tim Duncan. He's going to be with the great organization. So I think it just comes down to if he's going to be healthy enough.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's hard to stay healthy when you're that tall.
Yeah, I don't see why if he stays healthy and for a whole season, he can't be a 26-10 guy. He's 7'4". He's gonna get 20 off putbacks.
Bro, his playmaking is better than I thought too. I never really watched his film in France or anything like that, but he's a good passer.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, I like the guy. All right, well, I think that's all we got for y'all. Until next week, we'll be back to recap the banger of a card that is this weekend. Kind of, not really. And then we'll give y'all some picks for UFC London.
Yes, sir.
Doses.